All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And there you go. We are off. We're running. It is a brand new live edition of Talking Ball on a Saturday morning. We are live from University Kia along University Drive. They want to see you in a University Kia, the number one Kia dealership, for over a decade now. And they want to see you in a Kia. We want to see you in a Kia. In fact, I am in a Kia. We were actually...
Beautiful Kia. With great gas mileage.
Yes, it is a beautiful Kia.
That goes 92 miles an hour. And
no, it does not. No, it does not.
You feel like
no, it does not.
Well, that you feel like you're going 70 miles an hour.
You're cruising down the interstate.
Yeah, exactly. You're cruising.
You know what Arthur has told us all the time, that the Telluride is one of the popular vehicles in the whole fleet, and I can see why now.
Well, I mean, one time we were here for 2 hours, and I think they sold 5 off the truck.
Well, Tokyo Drift has been so yesterday we come back from Lee.
Now, if Tokyo Drift had been driving, we'd have been going 125 miles an hour.
Well, we don't say that here.
I'm just saying.
But anyway,
I'm not saying he would have done anything bad to the vehicle. I'm just saying we would have got there in record time.
We got to go to Shorter tomorrow. So, see, this has been 4 days of road trips. You guys could have made it to Shorter in 45 minutes. Yeah, so yesterday we had to go to Lee. Thursday Wednesday night, Thursday we were in Tuscaloosa for the state football championships. And we cruised down there and cruised back. You were with me on that.
Yeah.
And
Smooth
yesterday,
ride.
though, we did ride the bus over to Lee. But tomorrow we go to Shorter, and we will be cruising over there, thanks to University Kia, over to Shorter for that trip. But yeah, so Tokyo Drift was like, so are you going to drive tomorrow? And I said, sure. So we will be partaking in that. But anyway.
Hey, it's easy, man. It's not, you don't purpose. It's just a smooth ride.
It is a very smooth ride.
And, I mean, they must not have many because we don't have anything in the showroom.
Right.
So, I mean, a lot of people getting good Christmas presents via Kia this year with this beautiful tree behind us.
All right, so we are here. Arthur is here in the building, and
nice.
He told me
congrats to his son in Madison Academy on an amazing football season.
So he told me that he's going to be here at 9:30.
Okay.
He told me, I told him at 9:30, and so it's 9:30, and I was thinking.
He's a busy man.
He is a busy man.
No question. I mean, what we're talking about, he's selling Tellurides.
All right. So anyway, I expect him to join us here in a few minutes. We got a lot to talk about on a Saturday. 256-576-4977. A lot. There is no shortage.
We can lead off about where you were yesterday and what a performance by the Chargers.
Yeah, I do. I want to get to that, but our good friend, you texted me this yesterday, and it moved fast.
Oh, yeah.
It moved really fast.
Because I texted Bob Gossey and Ronnie Cox. You want to know why? Because they're both Troy guys, too.
Yeah.
And they were both, wow. And Coach Gossey was really sad that he left, but you can't blame him.
So that's the thing. I'm getting asked, is it a lateral move? Is it a good move? But anyway, Troy head coach John Summerall, 23-4 in 2 seasons at Troy as head coach. Back-to-back Sun Belt titles. Grissom grad, Grissom star, goes to Kentucky. Great guy there. If not for injury, he would have finished his Kentucky career on the football field, but because of an injury, could
he
not
was a starter.
finish.
He's a good player.
Yeah, great player. He takes Willie Fritz goes from Tulane to Houston. John Summerall was connected to the Mississippi State job. He was connected to the Duke job, others, but he ends up taking the head coaching position at Tulane, goes from Troy to Tulane as their head coach to replace Willie Fritz.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Because just a few years ago, Tulane was in Conference USA. Now they're in the American Athletic Conference. Troy's in the Sun Belt. And don't forget that, just last year Tulane was in a Big Six bowl and they beat Lincoln Sharman and USC in the Cotton Bowl to win that.
And Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Tulane, as we've named him. Yes, couldn't beat Tulane. So, but yeah, Caleb Williams won the Heisman, but they finished, as a program in the Big Six now, which means going into next year, they would have been in the college football playoff. And this year, they had another very good football team. Now, they didn't beat SMU in the AAC championship game. We all know that. They finished a little short. If they had, they probably would have been back in the Big Six. So I think due to realignment and due to the growth of Tulane's program and what Willie Fritz has done, and don't forget John Summerall coached at Tulane at one time.
Yes, he did.
So there's connections there. I think, and you have an amazing recruiting base in the state of Louisiana, and you can still go to Alabama, you can still go to Georgia, you can still recruit the Southeast. I think he believes that due to realignment and due to the growth of the program under Willie Fritz, that it's a step up from Troy. And now, 5 years ago, that's probably not the case, but now it is. The salaries, just from me looking it up, were very similar because John had gotten
1.4 was what Troy was trying to offer him to stay at Troy.
And I think it had been just under $1 million because he had gotten one raise. And then Willie was making over $1 million at Tulane, but who knows? Tulane may have also stepped up due to the fact that they're in the American Athletic Conference now.
Right.
I'm sure it was a hard decision for John, and I hope we can catch up with him soon after he gets settled in. But look, I understand where he's coming from because you saw Tulane last year in a Big Six bowl defeating a team like USC. Okay, so that just shows you the caliber of players that Willie Fritz was getting. All right, now Willie, I've already read, is going to Houston. His salary has gone from just over $1 million to $4.5 million per year for the Cougars.
He's taken his whole entire staff
and that's
with
not
him.
Surprising.
And they will not coach in the bowl game. The offensive coordinator is going. The defensive coordinator is going. A couple other assistants are going. So I don't know for Tulane who is going to coach in the bowl game. It's not going to be John Summerall. He's not going to coach in the bowl game. But I don't know who's going to coach for Tulane.
That's why you have analysts now. That's why you have a special teams coach. I'm sure there's one of the position coaches will probably take over as interim head coach. I wouldn't expect John to coach Tulane in the bowl game. No. And then of course Troy has already named an interim coach to take his place in the Birmingham Bowl. It is sad that he's leaving our state. I was looking forward to watching him coach in the Birmingham Bowl, but again, it's a move up in the profession. This is a volatile time in college football, and congrats to John for what he did for Troy, reestablishing them as one of the better Group of 5 programs in the country. And now he's moved up to Tulane, and their program is ascending. And certainly when he took over Troy with what Chip Lindsey had done, there was work to be done, had to be rebuilt. But this Tulane program is strong. Now there's a kid's going to hit the portal, I'm sure, and like you said, the whole coaching staff of Willie Fritz is leaving, but I'm sure John's going to bring a lot of his guys with him. So that's just the world we live in right now, and a great opportunity for one of our favorite guys.
And so the Athletic was like, okay, hey, who could replace John Summerall at Troy? And I know we have a lot of Troy grads listening, and I know they're, it's pretty big in this area. One of the names that they put out there, now there's a couple names, West Virginia defensive coordinator Jordan Leslie. He's a former Troy player, was with Neil Brown when he had it going. They said he'll probably get a lot of consideration, as will their offensive line coach Matt Moore. But one name they threw out there was Bill Clark.
Yeah, and he's been on the AHSAA radio network and TV network this week. He's been doing some stuff since he retired from UAB with the AHSAA because, as you know, Scott, he was a prominent high school coach, did a great job at Prattville, and really spent his whole career in the state of Alabama. When you think about being the defensive coordinator for Joey Jones at South Alabama, he left South Alabama to go to Jacksonville State, his alma mater, and then he leaves Jacksonville State to go to UAB. So, I've wondered about that.
60-30 in 7 seasons at UAB. 49 and 26 at UAB. He's 60-30 in 7 seasons as a coach. He went 32-13 in Conference USA play for UAB.
Well, I'll just say this. For Troy, if he's healthy and feels good physically after the spine surgery, because I think he had some fusion surgery going on, but if he's healthy, he would be the perfect fit for the Troy Trojans. There's nobody that knows the state of Alabama better than Bill Clark. He recruited the state very well. He's very well respected. And I think it would be a home run. I think it would be out of the park for Troy. He could continue what John established as getting Troy back to being a great program, going 23-4 in those 2 years. And the program basically, look, when he took the UAB job at first, he got them very competitive. Then they dropped the program, and he had to basically restart it from scratch. And it was amazing how quickly they hit the ground running and became great. And, you know, our own Brewer Hicklin, great friend, he can tell you about Bill Clark. But I think that would be a home run. If I were Troy, I would vet every avenue with Bill Clark to see if he wanted to return to coaching, because I just think there's nobody that fits, you know, the state of Alabama. And he's already coached at a very similar program at UAB and done a great job than Bill Clark. And,
right.
You know, Troy's got really good facilities as well. They've been pouring money into their facilities, money into their program, and I think he would do a great job.
All right, so that is the news that really kind of started happening yesterday. The ball got rolling, and wow, I did manage to text a congratulations to Coach, and he was all happy that he is there in Tulane and ready to go. And back in New Orleans, kind of where it all started. I think he came from San Diego to Tulane, and then from Tulane worked his way around. All right, 256-576-4977. You want to be a part of the program, be a part of the show on a Saturday morning as we are live from University Kia. And yes, yesterday we were in Lee, UAH basketball.
I thought Coach was poor-mouthing yesterday. I really did. I felt like they were basically the tar baby, you know, that was waiting in the briar patch.
Yeah.
They were ready to go. I felt like they'd had a good week, and Coach was just itching to play again. And not surprised. I know he banned me once again, but I was expecting that to come.
You ain't never coming again.
But still, I may sneak in just in different colors. But just a great win for UAH yesterday, Scott. Let us know.
Man.
Give us a little recap of how that went.
Completely two different teams from West Alabama to what we saw last night. They were motivated. They were strong. Daniel Saylor had his first career college double-double last night, 17 points, 10 rebounds. He looked like a man possessed. He played like his, 6'9" or whatever. He's a man, tall he
that's
is.
for sure.
Yeah, he played like it last night. And UAH trailed at one point. They were down by 13 in the first half. Things were not looking good, but as we kept saying, and Steve Moulton kept saying on the broadcast last night, you're not going to shoot 70% from behind the arc all night long. It's something sooner or later you're going to miss, and that was Lee. Lee early on was unconscious from behind the arc. They couldn't miss. The basket was as big as the ocean, and they were finding it. And UAH just kept doing what they're doing, kept plugging away, and the momentum turned right before half, and it turned out of the half, and UAH got a win at Lee where it's awfully tough to play, but it is early December. That Lee team is very good. They will get better.
They were undefeated coming in.
They were undefeated. Now they have West Alabama coming up on Sunday, so they're going to get a double dose of toughness.
We already saw West Alabama, and, of course, that's how I got banned. But, wow, what a team they have.
Yeah, and UAH has the Steak Bowl on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we affectionately have nicknamed it the Steak Bowl
for our good friend
because
Brandon.
That's where we will partake in a steak on Sunday before the game. And so it has nothing to do with UAH. It just has everything to do with us. Yes, after that. So that is what we have on Sunday. So you'll be able to hear that UAH basketball on Sunday. But today, I do want to let everyone know what's going on today. So we have the show right now. After our show, you will get Alabama basketball north of the border as they take on Purdue. We will hear from Nate Oates coming up here in just a little bit on how they are going to match up with Purdue. You got that coming up. Army-Navy will be on 97.7 ESPN, the Zone 2. Army-Navy game will come your way on Zone 2. Now, after the completion of the Alabama game over the airways, we will flip the switch. It's like a big old light switch. We'll flip it, and the Army-Navy game will come back. Huntsville Havoc hockey comes your way later this evening as well. They are back at home tonight. We will have that game for you. So 97.7 ESPN, the Zone, is chocked full of stuff going on. So I just want to let everyone know what we have going on today, because
And we had a listener call that's been listening this morning that texted in and said Carnell Williams has also been mentioned for the Troy opening. And we know what he did as interim coach at Auburn.
I wonder if he's ready for that type of job.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm not quite sure he's ready yet. I know he did a great job as interim coach at Auburn last year. No question about that. But he hasn't been a coordinator yet. But, hey, neither had Dabo Swinney. So all that's kind of out the window now. It used to be a natural progression.
Right.
You move from position coach to coordinator to head coach. Well, sometimes you don't do that. So we'll see. He has a lot of ties to the state of Alabama. He's done a great job with Auburn's running back room, great job recruiting. So he's another name that will be vetted.
All right, we got to get a break in. Our first break of the morning. When we come back, tonight they will hand out a Heisman Trophy. Yesterday, the Heisman Trust let us know who finished 5 through 10. We'll let you know where Jalen Milroe finished in that balloting coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Alabama Securities Commission regulates the investment industry in Alabama and protects you from financial fraud. Anyone asking you for investment money must be licensed. Fraudsters attempt to lure investors by offering high returns and attractive products like a coronavirus vaccine or cure, rebuilding communities after a storm, or gold, oil, and gas. You are careful with your money, but fraudsters aren't. Before you invest, call our hotline at 1-800-222-1253 to verify the licensing of the person making an offer and the product. Call before giving your hard-earned money to anyone. Don't get caught in a get-rich-quick scheme. Learn more about the red flags of fraud and find free financial education material on our website at asc.alabama.gov. That's asc.alabama.gov, or call our investment hotline at 1-800-222-1253. Paid for by the Investor Protection Trust and brought to you by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo.
I want that money!
You know, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you, and we touched briefly there going to break about the UAH Chargers grabbing a win last night on the road at Lee. They'll be at Shorter on Sunday, so a big one there. Make sure you have the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app so you can listen to 97.7 ESPN The Zone wherever you go. Coming up a little bit later this evening. Now, if you want to talk Heisman and you want to say or have a Heisman preview show, well, this is the show to do it because, one, the Heisman Trophy is going to be handed out tonight. And if you have a Heisman Trophy voter, it really kind of lends a little credibility to a show, you might think. Not to say much. But yesterday, the Heisman Trust released the balloting for the Heisman through 5 through 10. We know 1 through 4, or not 1 through 4. We know the top 4 because Bo Nix, Michael Penix, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Jaden Daniels are all in New York. Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis finished 5th in the Heisman voting this year. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe finished 6th in the Heisman.
Spring Hill.
He finished 6th in the Heisman balloting. Now, Oklahoma
just outside
State,
the finalists.
Yep. Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon was 7th. Missouri running back Cody Schrader was 8th.
What a year he had, man. I mean, so under the radar.
Michigan running back Blake Corum finished 9th. And Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy finished 10th. Now, that is surprising to me because McCarthy finished 66th nationally in passing yards per game, 11th in yards per pass, and 6th in passing efficiency. And you ready for this? J.J. McCarthy didn't surpass 150 yards in any of his last 4 games, including the Big Ten championship game where he only passed for 147 yards. He passed for 148 against Ohio State and 60 against Penn State. But let's pause the conversation on the Heisman Trophy because I said he was going to be here at 9:30, but he's been busy.
Too busy selling cars. We have no cars in the showroom.
Exactly.
Our good friend Arthur Seaton, kind enough to join us here this morning at University Kia, the place where they want to see you in a University Kia.
And we've been seen.
And we have been seen, yes.
We appreciate that.
Welcome in.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, man.
Got a great atmosphere going this morning at University Kia. We already sold a couple cars, and we are going to have a big day for Road to Excellence, guys. We got to sell 150 new Kias this month.
Okay.
And we will be the President's Club dealer in the South. On the top 40 Kia dealers in the United States, out of 786 dealers, they pick 40 every year, and we're in the running for it if we hit on this month.
I don't doubt you will.
So
I mean, there's going to be some great Christmas
in.
presents from University Kia this year, man. I'm telling you.
This month only, guys. Only time, first in history, we're running an invoice sale.
Really?
Wow.
All month long.
What's an invoice sale?
Yeah,
Help me out with that.
Dealer costs. What we pay for it is what you pay for it. It's going to be the easiest Christmas gift you could ever have in your life. You come here, it's no haggling. It's an easy process. You come in, say, hey, I heard it on ESPN radio, and we're going to make it happen for you.
Wow. Gosh. So you have talked about the Telluride. You've said it's like the vehicle still.
Such a beautiful vehicle, man.
And so we were on our way down to Madison Academy football on Wednesday night.
Congrats to your son, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we experienced
so
riding in a Telluride for the first time. And I can see now why Kia guys and Kia people or people come in and want a Telluride. I'll just say that. We can speak firsthand on why you would want a Telluride.
Hey, the Telluride is the vehicle, guys. It's comfortable. It's safe.
Yes.
Excellent ride. I mean, it's just I'm driving a Telluride myself right now. We just got a 24 in black on black with the roof rails. It's a good-looking car. I love it. It's a beautiful car.
It really is. It's such a smooth ride, such great features. I mean, when it's cold, you got the heated seats, which is amazing. I mean, and it was cold when we went down because we went down the night before Arthur for Madison Academy, and that was a great journey. We were a part of that. I did Randolph football this year, but I was part of the playoff journey with Madison Academy. Man, I'm telling you what, those last 4 weeks, it was unbelievable to watch the Mustangs, and I know it must have been great in a surreal moment for you to watch your son playing inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium, man. That was awesome.
It was a dream come true for AJ, man. My son, I'm proud of you, son. And Coach Godsey and team and Coach Ken Rogers, those guys did an amazing job, and hats off to those guys this morning on a 14-1 season. Amazing year, guys. I'm so proud of you guys. Continue the great work. It's a great program. Coach Godsey is the best coach in high school football in Alabama, hands down.
So you got the invoice sale going on here. Christmas.
That's major. The invoice sale.
Inventory is good though.
Yeah.
So if you want to come out here and get a car, I mean the inventory is good, well stocked. We got a lot of selections.
University Kia has more new car inventory than any dealership in the city. We have about 150 new Kias on the ground today.
Wow. Woo! And if you sell them all in the next few weeks, they're in the top 40.
Exactly.
Got to get to 100.
They're going to hit that, man. We already seen Ced McGinnis. He's already getting ready to roll today.
Oh, yeah.
Cedric's out there trying to sell the Cadillac.
Well, he's trying to sell every car on this lot.
Yes. University Kia, we got Cadillac
man.
Escalades, we got Corvettes. We have a very, very wide variety of inventory. We don't just sell Kias here, guys. If you know we love you to buy a Kia, we sell everything. You got to come down and check out our inventory or go to universitykia.com and go ahead and set your pre-appointment. We do vehicles. You don't even have to walk into the dealership. We sell cars over the phone. We make it an easy process. Corwin Jones and Vanessa Cotton, they are amazing, and you give us a call or go online and set it up, and they'll give you a call back shortly, and we'll make this easy for you.
Well, when Scott was here the other day, they sold the Telluride online. You guys did, so there you go.
Yeah, that's how it is, man. COVID gave us a different way of doing business, and let me tell you something. We continue to use it. It don't change. We still do deals online all day, and we come in the store and see Mike Lucente and Alan. Alan Taylor. They'll take good care of you.
Isn't that amazing that it took? I mean, I hate that we had to go through COVID, but it opened up a whole nother an avenue to sell vehicles that was there before. We just never really imagined that we could do something like that.
Creativity is what I call it, man. It's just a different way of doing business, but it's a smart way of doing business.
Yeah.
It's like people going back to work after being telework all this time. It's going to be extremely hard. I don't see people going back to work no time soon because the companies are saving so much money because you use your own utilities, own phones, staying at home, and it's smart business all the way around.
It really is, and it's tremendous. And then, Arthur, tell us about, besides the Telluride, what other vehicles have really been moving here at University Kia?
We have the K5, y'all. Let me tell you about it. We have about 50 of them in stock right now. We can't keep that car. I doubled down and bought triple my amount. Yeah. We got 4 truckloads in the last 3 days, and those cars are jumping off the shelf. It's the replacement of it's similar to the Malibu, but it's the replacement of the Optima, but it's another version of it, guys. It's a comfortable drive. It's smooth looking, excellent gas mileage, 5-star crash rating, safe. It's just a perfect car, and it's got a great price point.
I'll tell you this, the Kia Forte I know is still the I guess you can call it the classic.
It is.
The Kia one, and that's what we have. And I'm just going to say the gas mileage for that is unfreaking real. So we drove it from here to Iowa. Just to let everyone know just how much we did. We filled the gas tank up here in Huntsville, drove all the way to St. Louis on 1 tank of gas, and then put gas in there and then made it all the way to Iowa. So really it was 1 tank of gas from when we left here. We averaged almost 30-some miles, well over 30, almost close to 40 miles a gallon on the interstate.
Depending on the driver, you can average 40 miles to the gallon, but 35 is the average. But I'm telling you, it's a great vehicle. And it's safe. It's another safe vehicle of ours.
Yeah, I can tell you that. It's safe. And they can say it's in the shop now,
and
but
course,
it's safe.
And there's so much travel during the holiday season, Arthur, but talk about your service department and what you can help your prospective customers there, too.
I can tell you, Rick Theobald, I got some new leadership back there, guys, and our service department is doing amazing, guys. We're adding more lifts back there because our business is doing so great. We're adding 4 new lifts this month because we can't get to these customers fast enough. So we're going to have to hire more people. University Kia is hiring all positions as well. We're looking for salespeople that want to come and be a part of the family. We're looking for technicians. We're looking for everybody. So if you're looking for a job today, go to universitykia.com, and we're looking to hire people in all positions. We're hiring on the fourth quarter when people are cutting back. So we're telling you, we're doing business over at University Kia.
All right. Arthur Seaton, kind enough to join us this morning here from University Kia. Always good to see you. Always good to
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Really appreciate you having us.
Hey, happy holidays to everyone out there, guys. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe.
You got the...
And then we got some coffee coming in, too.
Got some eggnog early in the morning, guys.
Now you're going to make Scott thirsty.
I don't know. I don't do eggnog. I don't do eggnog. Sorry. All right. Arthur Seaton, good enough to join us. All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, y'all have a good day.
I imagine it's 9:59. I imagine we got to get a break in, Bailey. I'd imagine so, but we're just going to take it whenever. So let's take a break, and we'll come back for hour 2.
Yeah, William Galloway going to join us and talk some hoops.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
In football and in finance, the best offense is a good defense. Neighbors Wealth Management has joined forces with Alliance Group to provide Alabamans with world-class financial service on both sides of the ball. Get the expertise to grow your wealth and protect your assets all under one roof. Give us a call and let's work together to turn your personal financial franchise into a perennial powerhouse. 256-469-2324 or visit us at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That number again is 256-469-2324 or neighborswealthmanagement.com. Attention life insurance owners, do you have a policy with cash value and haven't had a review since you purchased your policy? Did you forget who the agent is? Your policy may be at risk as interest rates have fallen and remain at historical lows. Contact the experts at Neighbors Wealth Management to get a free policy review and know where you stand. Call us at Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com. That's Neighbors Wealth Management, 256-469-2324, or on the web at neighborswealthmanagement.com.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Alabama. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Well, that's definitely not the top of the hour music break that we normally get. Normally we have our reopen music that comes your way at the top of the hour, but apparently we're just winging this on the fly today. That's okay. That's okay. We're live on a Saturday morning, University Kia. They want to see you in a University Kia. Thank you for making them the #1 Kia dealership in the state of Alabama for over a decade, from 2012 to 2022. We have got a lot going on this morning. Last night, high school basketball taking center stage. We had a lot of college basketball last night. It's weird having college basketball and high school basketball merge, right, just to show you how much it affected the crowd there at Lee last night. I know you guys had a great crowd at Huntsville High, but there was a huge basketball game there in Cleveland. Bradley Central, and I forget who it was, but they had almost 1,600 people there, close to 2,000 people. John Schulman was like getting updates on it, and it really hurt the crowd at Lee, because half of those people would have come over to Lee and watched Lee play, but they were packing the gym there. It's a huge rivalry game there in Tennessee. Last night, Huntsville High, we mentioned that the director of the City of Palms basketball tournament was going to be on hand for that one, and indeed he was. He even called out the high school student sections in the state of Florida, basically saying, hey, look, this is what a high school basketball student section should look like, and took a picture of the Huntsville High student section and basically said, hey, we need this in the state of Florida.
Yeah, Donnie Wilkie, I talked to him after the game. He was very impressed. He told me, Drew, he goes, I will not see a better atmosphere at a high school basketball game the rest of the year than what I saw last night. And our next guest called the game on NFHS, pardon me, let me say that 3 times fast, on the NFHS network for Huntsville High. I've connected with him on Talkin' Ball many years ago during his time time as basically the de facto sports information director at Mountain Brook High School. He now works for the Mountain Brook school system after graduating from the University of Alabama. Outstanding young broadcaster, and William Galloway has been kind enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. William, you're with Drew and Scott this morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you guys doing?
We are good. Are your ears still ringing, sir?
Yes, absolutely. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was still hearing voices, partially because of the crowd noise. And I don't even know if people could hear us on the network last night, truth be told.
We'll talk about the game itself. There was a lot of buildup going into this one, and potentially these two, I mean, why they meet now, just because of how the playoffs work and 7A brackets, they could potentially see each other in the postseason again. But just take us through this regular season matchup.
Yeah, Scott, a game that was kind of started out a little bit jittery, I'd say. Teams were back and forth. You probably had 5 or 6 lead changes up until the first couple of minutes of the second quarter. And then just a commanding run in the second quarter by the Crimson Panthers to take a big lead. They outscored the Bucks 22-6 in the second quarter. And they really didn't look back. Hoover made some noise, led by Jarrett Fairley. Fairley had 5 first-half points, ended up with 19 total, so 14 second-half points. He really kept them in the game. But Huntsville limiting Salim London, who's a 1,000-point career point scorer for the Bucks. Huntsville really got it done on all ends, and I was extremely impressed. You guys opened talking about the atmosphere. Everything from the atmosphere to the way Huntsville played in the half court, in the full court. And I hadn't had the opportunity to see the Crimson Panthers play a game start to finish, and they could beat you so many ways. And if you had told me, and we said this on the broadcast last night, I said it to Jason Yarbrough, who was calling color. I said, if you had told me that somebody was going to win by 20, I would say you've got the wrong game. You got to go somewhere else in this state because these are the top 2 teams. And Hoover is still a quality team, just couldn't hit their shots last night.
Yeah, I thought Huntsville was just really good, whether it be in the full court, especially half court defensively, though. That's kind of what Huntsville's hung their hat on, William. Now, I will say I've been blessed to be a part of all Huntsville's games so far. That was the best they've shot it from 3. I mean, they were 12 of 20. And if Huntsville shoots a 3 that well with Caleb Harrison inside, with J.D. Gossett's ability to get to the rim, with Braden Rivers as well, they're going to be very, very tough to beat.
Absolutely. I was most impressed with Rivers. You knew going into the game after Simon Walker had 20 second-half points against Buckhorn just a couple weeks ago that he was going to be a threat. Hoover tried to neutralize him, and they did. He still made a couple plays, hit some big shots, but Braden Rivers really stepped up. And his length and his ability to make shots, to make things happen, attacking the rim, making outside jumpers, really stretching the defense was super impressive. Of course, Jason, I got to give him credit, pointed out, and we really discussed a lot on NFHS Network, the inside-out work from Caleb Harrison and Josh Bowman, kind of the twin 6'9" guys. They're not actually twins, as we know, but cousins, really. Their ability to stretch the floor, to make you so thin on defense when they go high-low, how do you guard them? How do you limit them? And then you've got capable shooters and plenty of length all around them. I think top to bottom, at this point in the season, this is the most complete high school basketball team I've seen in a number of years, and it's still very early.
Yeah, it is very early. We've got a lot of basketball left to be played. As for Hoover, I mean, they came into this one. For both teams, though, really, you want to make sure that you're just trending in the right way when you get into area play. Huntsville looks like, though, they are trending in that right way for area play.
Absolutely. Huntsville will be ready. Hoover will be ready. And as you mentioned, Scott, they won't have to probably go toe-to-toe either until regionals. I hadn't taken a look at the playoff bracket or maybe the Final Four or the championship, but these are 2 programs, should they not run into each other, I would imagine we'll be seeing in the BJCC. And that's, it really is, high school basketball boils down to a 6-game season, right? You got to play your area games, you got to win them, so you can host a tournament, get to regionals, especially in 7A, not having that sub-regional game as the current format is set is big because it's really those 6 area games and that first area tournament game, and then at that point it's survive and advance. I want to just give Caleb Harrison so much credit. As a Birmingham guy, as a big Samford supporter, I'm excited to be able to see him in the years to come. And he was just phenomenal last night. He's been phenomenal all season, but his patience in the half-court offense to read, to see, his court vision is incredible. And, of course, his frame, putting him at 6'9", 6'10", above everybody else. He's going to be a key factor, as we all know, for this Huntsville team. But as he goes, the Crimson Panthers will go, I think, for the remainder of the season.
And what excites you about Caleb is he's gotten so much better. He's always been a good player, William, but he took a huge jump starting this summer, and it kind of was all culminated when Huntsville beat Hoover over at the AHSAA scouting showcase. Huntsville won that game in overtime. Caleb had a great game in front of your good friend Bucky McMillan and Mitch Cole, and that kind of set all the dominoes in place for Samford to make a move with Caleb and bring him into the fold. The great thing about him is he's a willing passer. I think he had 6 assists last night. He rebounds the ball really well. You saw him hit a 3 early to kind of get Huntsville going, to get them their first lead of the game. He's so multidimensional. He's the perfect big for the style of basketball today.
Absolutely. Going into that game, averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds, and really just filling the stat sheet. He's going to be able to do a lot. The way he's able to stretch the floor, as you mentioned, is going to be perfect for a Bucky McMillan-style offense. And I have no say, and I don't know what the ramifications are for recruiting and talking to coaches and players. And I know Samford's looking at some more guys down that roster for Huntsville, and they are smart to do so because you've got scorers, you've got defenders, you got high IQ basketball players that just love the game. I got to give a shout out to Nunu Baker last night. He wasn't fully on my scouting report, but he came in, made a big steal, got a floater to go on the left side. And a guy that I didn't necessarily have my eye on was a big impact player and making plays all over the floor last night.
What else? I mean, obviously you've seen a lot of 7A basketball probably this season so far. What other programs have kind of caught your eye? Huntsville's obviously one of those, and they did that last night, but is there anything else that has caught your eye across the state?
Yeah, just a couple notes on this Hoover team. I mean, you knew going into the game that Salim London and Dwayne Brown were going to be playmakers. Brown is one of the better bigs I've seen. We talked about Harrison for Huntsville. Brown is a fantastic big for those Hoover Bucks. And obviously wearing 55, and you think about Trey Jemison, who played at Hoover just a number of years ago. He came through high school when I was coming through. But you got a lot of talent. You know, Huntsville's taking on Central Phoenix, another big test coming up. I would dare say, and I think I'm right here, that basketball is going to continue to dominate in the northern and central half of this state compared to the southern. You just think about what you've seen in the Final Four in years past. But certainly these two teams I would expect to be in the Final Four. And I'm hoping to have the opportunity to see a couple more games and a couple more teams and hopefully get behind the mic for some big-time 7A matchups.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. And also, you have a unique perspective because attending Mountain Brook, you saw the rise of Bucky's program. You've seen what he's done at Samford, which is amazing to me, but I'm not surprised because I always thought he was ahead of his time. You know Christian very well from his two-time stint for 7 years at Mountain Brook. What are the similarities you see between what Coach Swears has built at Huntsville High and what Bucky was able to do at Mountain Brook?
Sure. So I would say, first of all, I mean, everything he's doing the right way, right? The way that Bucky ran a program top down, making sure that I hadn't stepped in Schweers' practices, but I can guarantee you that they are, down to the second prepared. They've got, the atmosphere was incredible last night. The team was prepared. Everybody was doing their job, and you could just tell that it was a smooth run program, right? That's one thing that Bucky was emphatic on, is that everything you run, whether it's practice drills and the way that you practice to the way you condition in the fall. I know Schweers emulates that. Coach Stu Studeman emulates that at Coleman for the Coleman Bearcats. Yeah, and then of course Tyler Davis is replicating that at Mountain Brook, upholding that same standard for the Spartans that Bucky established. But I would just give Schweers credit for everything that he's done there. and his career path and how he has gone through his job at Huntsville, right, and the people and the connections that he's made. He's a people person, right, and
no
the
doubt.
way that he has been able to connect and bring people in like yourself, Drew, into that program and put all the right pieces in the right place, that ensures success, right? And Bucky was able to do that, whether it was, me as a manager and a social media person and a PA announcer, or getting the right assistants, or making sure you have the right medical treatment. I can tell that Coach Weers has got, his thumb on every aspect of that program, not micro, ensuring that they're able to have success in all areas on and off the court in that program.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to have you down from Birmingham, to call the game. It was a game everyone's been looking forward to. Hoover really put it on Huntsville last year around this time when Huntsville went over to Hoover, and they went on to win a state championship. Scott Ware, he's done a great job, and they have a great team there, and they're certainly going to be heard from. I love Dwayne Brown. He's an old school big, but he's so good inside, so good with his footwork, and it was amazing. I hadn't seen them yet this year till last night. He's lost 20 pounds. He's even quicker. Guy had 18. And, again, as you said, Jarrett Fairley was a man in the second half, had 14 in the half, 19 for the game. So the Hoover Bucks are going to be heard from, no doubt about it. And matter of fact, they're back at home tonight, Scott, hosting the Buckhorn Bucks. So that's going to be another great basketball
Caleb
game.
Holt comes
yeah,
in.
Caleb Holt, who's one of the best players in the country. And I know William's seen him. But, William, man, we appreciate the time and the insight. There's no one that's more well-versed in basketball in Birmingham and then in Bucky McMillan and Christian Schweers than yourself. And it was an honor to have you, man, and we appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to connecting again down the road and talking some hoops, man.
Scott, great to hear from you. Drew, it was great to see you last night and catch up as well. Thank you guys both for the time this morning. And until then, I'll give my Mountain Brook Spartans a shout-out. Say, go Spartans, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, let's get a break in, shall we? We're live from University Kia. More Talking Ball on a Saturday morning. Coming your way next.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania.
He must be the most ambitious man in the world.
And join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge group. First place will win an overnight stay at Guntersville State Park, plus dinner in the Pinecrest Room, plus golf at Gunter's Landing. Second place wins a foursome at Cherokee Ridge. And third wins food at Bubby's Diner, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, and Coralejos Mexican Grill. Find the link to sign up at our 97.7 ESPN Facebook page and on X at 97.7 ESPN.
You keep saying that, but you don't tell me how.
Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania, and join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge group. Join today, and good luck.
This kind of stuff makes you grow up quick.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
pressure, that sealing really good there. So we just want to replace that seal at the bottom. This is the bottom cover of the blower. It has 4 or 5 screws to put back, and people may want to bottom here because it has a drain.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate it.
There we go.
Thank you, Si.
Yeah, we're
just a little bit forward this morning. You know,
we're sitting here in University Kia, and we're just talking to people here from University Kia, and we got people buying cars, and we're just having a good old time here on a Saturday. I mean, we got
transfer portal news.
Well, So there's a lot of transfer portal news, and because it's people coming and people going, and you're not going to know where to send Christmas cards to yet because there's a lot of people that don't have addresses as far as sending Christmas cards to. But one of the top quarterbacks, and when I say top quarterbacks, he helped elevate. Is elevate Oklahoma back to where they were a thing, or is it just the fact that, Dillon Gabriel had Oklahoma in the mix for a college football playoff this year until they stumbled. But Oklahoma was a lot better this year than they were last year. And they're taking steps to get back to being near the top of the Big 12. But he is going to take over the reins for Bo Nix at Oregon.
Yeah, he is. Dillon Gabriel, this has really been in the works for a few days.
Yeah.
When he first went into the portal, when Jeff Lebby left his OC to go to Mississippi State, honestly, I thought he was going to go to Starkville. I said that on Talkin' Ball. It just seemed kind of natural because he was recruited to UCF by Lebby. He was going to go to UCLA then and then pivoted to go to OU when Lebby went there. So that seemed like the natural fit. But we know Bo Nix has finished at Oregon. He's at the Heisman ceremony today, Scott, which we know you and Steve voted on.
Yes.
That will be tonight. We think that's the Jaden Daniels Invitational.
I can't see why not.
Right.
In my mind.
But they need a quarterback. I know they had Tristan Thompson at one time that was considered a big an up-and-coming guy, but he couldn't beat out Bo. And so I believe Oregon thinks that Dillon Gabriel is a perfect fit for their system and what they're building over there and what they've done. And because Bo was so successful after coming over from Auburn, no doubt about it. And Dan Lanning's done a great job. And I think they feel like they need another guy to come in at least for a year while they recruit probably the next guy and develop him. Because I don't think you can survive with a transfer portal quarterback every time.
Right.
But they had a lot of success with Bo, and I think Dillon Gabriel sees that. The system that they run is very similar to Oklahoma's. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. Jackson Arnold is a 5-star that Oklahoma had been grooming to take his place, and I think they felt like he was going to be ready as a redshirt freshman next year. And so I think that's why Dillon Gabriel moved on. But he's certainly a really good college QB. He got hurt last year, but this year stayed healthy, and we all know what he did, at OU. And so he lit it up this year. He was a dark horse Heisman candidate until they lost a couple of games, until they lost the Bedlam game, and they lost. And, they dropped a game to, also down the stretch. They dropped to UCF. I believe they didn't play very well. But again, even though I think they pulled that game out. But again, Oklahoma had a couple games they dropped, including the Bedlam game that kind of hurt his Heisman candidacy. But they did beat Texas, and that was his kind of moment where he rose to prominence. But I think he's a really good fit for Oregon.
One of the other top fits is going to end up somewhere, and that would be the number one, I guess you could say the number one receiver, according to On3 in the transfer portal, and that is South Carolina wide receiver Juice Wells. He is in the transfer portal. Ole Miss and Texas. He visits Ole Miss and Texas. So could Lane Kiffin be getting a talented wide receiver out of the portal to go with Jackson Dart? Because Jackson Dart, I believe, is coming back. next year for Ole Miss. So
he should be. I don't think he's quite ready for the NFL. So
I think he said he's coming back. Yeah, I think he said he was coming back. All right, so just in case you were wondering, and this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because we're talking transfer portal stuff right now, and Brett McMurphy does a fantastic job of covering college football for Action Network. And Brett McMurphy sharing this with us this morning, that there's 39 playoff bowls, or non-playoff bowls, okay? 39 non-playoff bowls. Only 13 bowls. Of that 39, only 13 did not have a team lose either its head coach, offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator, or starting quarterback to the transfer portal, opt-out, or injuries. 13 of 39. Now, that number's probably going to decrease over the next few days, but there are only 13 college football programs out of 39 that have not seen a kid go into the portal, have an opt-out, or lose a head coach or coordinator.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by that. Most all programs are going to be affected. I mean, Alabama hasn't had a ton. They did lose Coleman Hutzler, who's going to stay with the team through the playoff. He's going to be the DC at Mississippi State. So Saban's lost coaches every year since 2007. That's not a surprise. Ja'Cory Brooks went into the portal. Isaiah Hastings went into the portal. Ja'Cory Brooks is a really good player. I think he's underrated. I think somebody's going to get a quality kid as long as he can get healthy and get in. He was kind of in a funk this year, but if he can get his mojo back, I think he's about the right stuff. He's a good special teams player. I think he can be a really good player. Isaiah Hastings, he didn't make much of an impact at Alabama. It'll be interesting to see what school he lands at and if he can get on the field and play well. But you're going to see guys go into the transfer portal. It's just a natural progression.
Right.
We've seen some go into the portal at Auburn as well. So it's just part of it. It's part of the game, and it's part of the football. And so, and again, it's going to be really interesting to see what John Summerall does at Tulane and how he builds his roster, because they're going to be guys going into the portal at Tulane. They're going to be guys going to the portal at Troy. Does he bring some of his guys with him? How many of his staff come with him? So it's a fascinating time because again, I wish they could kind of tweak the portal deal where they could make it till after the bowl season, but that's hard because a lot of kids want to enroll in January.
Yeah.
And so that's when a lot of school semesters start, and so that's where the sticking point is. So you kind of understand it. But again, it's tough. But yeah, I think almost everybody is going to be affected by the transfer portal in some form or fashion. And I think it's just if you have a strong head coach like a Nick Saban, that really has things going in the right direction, or maybe for example Jim Harbaugh. I don't think it looks like he's going to sign a contract extension. I know a lot of people had him going to the NFL, but Michigan is back in love with him again.
That's the case though every year. Every year we talk about Jim Harbaugh.
Well, supposedly if he signs this extension, it's going to be with an agreement that he's not going to the NFL, so that'll be interesting. But Michigan, they have had minimal movement. But of course, all the programs in the college football playoff aren't going to have a lot until after their journeys end, and then that's probably when more kids will leave.
Right.
But again, it depends on what kind of program you have, if your head coach is doing the right things. Now, it's been amazing. Ohio State's lost a ton of guys into the portal so far, but I think Ryan Day's overrated, and so that's what's kind of hurting the Buckeyes right now. But the transfer portal really,
Urban Meyer was shocked that their quarterback went into the transfer portal. He was shocked that Ohio State lost their
Kyle McCord.
Yeah, he was shocked that Kyle McCord.
I was a little bit surprised by that too, because I thought he was solid. I mean, yeah. I thought they would bring him back. So, but I think also there's some people questioning Ryan Day and whether he can develop players. And I'm not sold on him at all. I think to me, I know the only team in the Big Ten that's beat him is Michigan, but that's because the Big Ten is overrated.
All right. We're about done with hour number one of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We're here at University Kia. We got another 60 minutes to go. We'll put 60 minutes on the clock. We'll count you down. Coming up next, live from University Kia, it's hour number two.
Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com. Click on Capital One Bowl Mania.
He must be the most ambitious man in the world.
And join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge Group. First place will win an overnight stay at Guntersville State Park, plus dinner in the Pinecrest Room, plus golf at Gunter's Landing. Second place wins a foursome at Cherokee Ridge. And third wins food at Bubby's Diner, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, and Coralejos Mexican Grill. Find the link to sign up at our 97.7 ESPN Facebook page and on X at 97.7 ESPN.
You keep saying that, but you don't tell me how.
Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania, and join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge Group. Join today, and good luck.
This kind of stuff makes you grow up quick.
Kevin Harlan here from Westwood One, inviting you to join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner every Monday this season. It's Westwood One's 45th year of bringing you primetime NFL games, and the schedule is packed with great matchups. Plus, you'll hear Rich Eisen from the studios with interviews and the latest news around the NFL. Don't miss any of the action every week on Monday Night Football.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, live from University Kia on a Saturday morning. Sun wanting to peek out here.
Trying now.
Trying to, isn't it?
Once Arthur comes in, the sun rises.
It's 64 degrees outside on a Saturday morning. Kind of spooky, though, if you know what we're talking about with severe weather. I'm not a weather person, so I can't tell you about it. As you know, the temperature's warm. We got rain, and we could have a little bit of some storms later this evening. You know what does not – the weather is unpredictable.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's going to be sunny. You don't know if it's going to rain. You don't know what it's going to do this time of year. You know what is predictable?
What?
Fife winning a state championship.
That's what I'm saying. We have got to make the T-shirt Death, Taxes, and the Fife Red Devils.
Over the last 10 seasons, Fife is 139-6 with 7 state titles. 7. This coming
We've got more
after
state titles than losses.
More state titles than losses in 10 seasons.
And they've won them in 3A and 2A.
They win the 2A state title yesterday down there in Tuscaloosa. Fife rolling. I mean, that is the most predictable thing that we have.
Yeah, I mean, I just, Coach Paul Benefield's been so great to us, and what a legend he is in coaching and what he's done on the small school level. And he's going to go down as one of the top 10 coaches in the history of the Alabama High School Athletic Association because, again, one of the hardest things, it doesn't run on autopilot. But one of the hardest things you have to do is build a program and get it to sustain itself. And
43-24 was the score yesterday.
Yeah, 43-24. Logan Anderson. What a performance from him. 34 carries, 256 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and a partridge in a pear tree. I mean, it was just one of those things. I mean, they ran for 398 yards, Scott. They did not complete. I think they attempted one pass, did not complete it. But like he always tells me, well, Drew, when we pass, we make it count. And usually they do. They only had thrown, I think, going into the game, 32 passes, I think, all season long, 32, 33 passes. And most of the time when you're coming into a season, Fife will throw 30 to 40 passes, and 10 to 11 of them will be for touchdowns because they make them count, because they run the football so well. But just watching them yesterday, I got to see some of that. First play of the game, 77 yards into the red zone and a quick touchdown for Logan Anderson. And it just really, just set the tone for the entire game. It was an unbelievable performance for Coach Benefield and that group of kids. Their only loss was to Geraldine, who we know made it to the semifinals and lost a heartbreaker to Madison Academy. But Anderson did not play in that game. He was coming back, Scott, from a severe knee injury that he suffered against Pisgah last year and tore 2 ligaments, and he's come back from that. What a remarkable recovery. He recovered in about 8 months, Scott, and the medical technology now is just amazing to where these young men are able to come back. Ken Cherry, who finished his great career with Madison Academy with, I think, 46 touchdowns this year. 2 years ago, he tore his ACL, and he looks good as new. So it's just amazing, and I just commend Fife on what they've built. It's such a special place over there. The entire town, the entire community is behind that program, and Coach Benefield is a class act. He's one of the best people I've ever met as well in coaching, and it was just great to watch him, win North Alabama another blue map.
There you go. Fife Red Devils. They get a state championship yesterday, 43-24 over Reeltown. Fife 14 points in the first, 14 in the second, 15 in the third. And
consistency.
They just do it year.
And Reeltown was
year.
good. Reeltown had some speed. They were undefeated too, Scott. They had a great team, but Fife just too tough, man. They're so good.
you know it's coming.
Right.
When you play Fife, you know what's coming.
Right.
You just can't stop it. It's like Novocaine. Man, see, it's like, remember the Titans.
Yep.
It's just like Novocaine. Just going to run it and run it and run it. 256-576-4977. You can be a part of the show. Our Saturday edition show here from University Kia. They want to see you in a Kia. We want to see you in a Kia. Everyone wants to see you in a Kia. Get on out here. The sun is shining. Get on out here, buy a car. Now's the time to do so. They got some nice looking.
Ben even took our slogan, Ben Thomas, in the start of his article about the
death, taxes, and a championship. I mean, that's well, when you win. Look, in the last 10 years, you sit there and say we have a 70% winning percentage of state championships in 10 years. 70% of the time, we're going to win a state championship. Those are good numbers.
Yeah,
7 titles in 10 years for Paul Benefield.
Yeah, and here's Coach Benefield after the game, just his quote. He said, I just want to give God all the glory for our season. He has blessed this team. We lost the first game, but we went to work. These are dogs right here, I can tell you that. They're the reason we are here. I'm really proud, a really proud coach tonight. And, I mean, and like I said, Logan Anderson, 77-yard run on the first play, scored 2 plays later, and it just set the tone for the entire game. I mean, Logan's a great talent, and he'll be back for one more season. And the consistency of Fife's program is just amazing, with how they play and what they do. And it's all a credit to Coach Benfield and that coaching staff that he's had with him for so long.
All right, let's set the stage for some college basketball coming up later today. In fact, we already have SEC college basketball hitting the hardwood right now. Mississippi State, they're calling this the SEC. It's the Holiday Hoops Giving.
Yeah.
Mississippi State taking on Tulane right now, 14-2 Mississippi State in the first half. One thing we've learned about Mississippi State so far is that when they are playing competition that they should win, they're winning. It's when they're playing competition that's a little bit above them, they kind of struggle a little bit. They're 6-2 out of the gates is Mississippi State. Now, coming up later today over our airwaves, in fact, at 12:30, 11:30 pregame, 12:30 tip-off, Alabama's going to take on fourth-ranked Purdue. This one will be inside the Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto. Alabama, Purdue. Nate Oates giving us a quick preview on the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, it's going to be good for our guys. I think we've had a good couple days of practice. It's going to be something a little different than face anybody else we face all year. Zach Edey presents some real problems. I mean, he's big and it's pretty much impossible to guard one-on-one. So they're constantly, you're constantly having to trap him, play out of it. There's been a few teams maybe tried to do it without trapping him, but he's very hard to guard one-on-one. So, and he's also a good passer. So and they've done a good job putting shooting all around him. So there's a reason they're one of the best teams in the country, maybe the best team in the country, and we've got our hands full here up in Toronto.
That was Nate Oates talking about his ball club facing Purdue. Obviously, Zach Edey, the center of attention, and why not? When you are the reigning college basketball player of the year, you do not go to the NBA. You choose to come back to college basketball.
And they've got, I think, all their starters back. I mean, they're a very experienced team. They have a culture program there under Matt Painter that he's built upon under his mentor, Gene Katie, who he played for. I know if you –
trying to do what Virginia did.
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier in this week. Earlier in the week. They're trying to do what Virginia did, where they got upset by UMBC. Then they came back the next year and won the national championship. Purdue trying to do that now. Purdue lost a heartbreaker on the road at Northwestern to start Big Ten play. But again, basketball is about reacting to adversity. You're not going to go undefeated. Nobody's done it since 1976.
Right.
Okay? If you lose an early season game, ain't no time to panic. Just like this is a great measuring stick for Alabama. I know they've lost to Ohio State and Clemson, who are both ranked. But again, because when they weren't ranked, Alabama fans are panicking, saying, how can we lose to an unranked team? Oh, I don't know. They just, it's just Clemson from the ACC and Ohio State from the Big Ten. It's not Ohio University and the Citadel or something that they played. I mean, you don't panic. It wasn't even mid-majors. But again, in basketball, it's a building process. A lot of times you're gonna have peaks and valleys, and it's the way you handle it. And again, and this is a huge challenge. They're playing this game in Toronto because Zach Edey's from Canada, and he's going to have tons of fans in the stands. Alabama's going to have to shoot it well. They're going to have to rebound. They're going to have to defend. And we'll see if Grant Nelson's available. He made the trip. I know they've been giving him treatment nonstop to get him ready with that lower leg injury, and they really need him today because you heard Nate Oates. They're going to have Nick Pringle back. Nick Pringle's coming off a suspension, Scott. He did not play in the last game against Arkansas State, but you've got Mohamed Wagee. You've got, you've got Nick Pringle. You've got Grant Nelson. You need all hands on deck to deal with this really experienced, really good Purdue team.
All right, again, that'll come your way over our airwaves. Pre-game at 11:30. Tip-off set for 12:30. Now, coming up around the rest of the league today, you've got 16th-ranked Kentucky welcoming Pennsylvania. Kentucky 6-1 at home this season. I wonder who that one loss was to at home.
The Fighting Jordans. from UNC Wilmington.
Oh, really? So they lost a game that they shouldn't have lost to.
No, we haven't heard Jeff talk about that. He's too busy talking about Middle Tennessee Lady women beating the Lady Vols.
I thought he would talk more about that, but he didn't. 17th ranked Tennessee will welcome 20th ranked Illinois to Knoxville. Tennessee 5-3 to start the year. The Fighting Illini 7-1. East Carolina will welcome South Carolina. South Carolina 7-1 to start the year. I don't know who they've played this year to say 7-1 is impressive. LSU welcomes Kansas State. Now we've didn't get a chance to talk about Kansas State.
Robbery.
There we can talk about Kansas State because a couple days ago, Kansas State and North Alabama battled. North Alabama making the trip to the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas, to take on Kansas State.
Robbed,
should
I say.
have won that ball game.
Oh. Our guy Jakari Lane, I still think he's probably got, some blood on his wrist after he got hacked and the gutless officials didn't make the call. I mean, I've seen the still photo. He got absolutely hammered. And, of course, Morlayer and Curley just sat there and picked their nose and decided to let, Kansas State still win the game. But what a game for Jakari. He nearly had a double-double in the game. I believe he did, as a matter of fact, if you look at points and assists.
Right.
He had an outstanding game. Had his jersey retired last night at Lee, which is very well deserved. He led them to a state championship. One of the best guards I've ever seen in our city. He's well on his way to becoming an all-time great at UNA. I really hated it for those kids, man. They should have won in Manhattan. And as usual, the horrendous officiating in college basketball cost them the game.
The reason why Mississippi State and Tulane are playing right now, they are playing in the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia, because after that game, the Auburn Tigers will take to the court. And they will take on the Indiana Hoosiers over there in Atlanta. It's Auburn and Indiana. Now, after today's game, Auburn will go back to Auburn, and then they will make the short drive up here on Wednesday as Auburn will take on UNC Asheville from the Von Braun Center. Stay with 97.7 ESPN The Zone because we will have a 4-pack of tickets to give away for that. I don't know what we're doing for that or how we're giving them away, but we are giving away tickets to that game on Wednesday. But as for Auburn, that'll be a 1 o'clock tip in Atlanta against Indiana. Arkansas will travel to take on 19th-ranked Oklahoma today. Florida's welcoming Richmond. And second-ranked Kansas welcomes Missouri. And Caleb Brown there at Allen Fieldhouse. That'll be 4:15. Just a little SEC basketball.
Yeah,
for you.
I want to reiterate something too. I know Auburn lost to Appalachian the other day on Sunday.
Yes,
but that was on the road. They actually made an interesting road trip, and you heard John Shulman on the show yesterday talking about how difficult it is to win on the road, and yet UAH gets a tough win over the Lee Flames yesterday.
I think Bruce Pearl said earlier in the week that they scheduled this during the COVID year. It came about during the COVID season.
Yeah.
App State, I think, will come to Auburn or has already come to Auburn, so they return the favor. But, yeah, that was a tough ball game there. We'll see what Auburn has in store on Wednesday. They will be the de facto home team. This game was bought from Auburn, but Auburn will be the home team on the scoreboard Wednesday inside the Von Braun Center.
Looking forward to that, too. UNC Asheville 5-4. They're really good, though. They were an NCAA tournament team a year ago, Scott. And like we said, it's been a hard sellout. Bruce Pearl's very excited to bring Auburn basketball here to the Rocket City, and we're looking forward to that. And after that, on Sunday, Auburn will host the USC Trojans. So, and Bronny James, who looks like he's cleared to play. So I wonder if the great Ladum will make his appearance in Alabama.
Oh, no. You probably can't find it.
Probably not.
Anyway, we got
losing games for the Lakers.
We got to get a break in I believe they're above 500 though, unfortunately.
Wow. Great.
Haven't paid attention to a lick, but I know that I think they're above 500.
Yeah, because of this riveting in-season tournament with all these goofy-looking floors.
I mean,
sorry, Bandy, but I'm not into it.
Got to grab straws. I don't even think they got 100,000 people watching it, to be honest with you. We got to get a break in when we come back.
You reap what you sow,
That's right.
crowd.
When we come back, more live talking ball from University Kia along University Drive.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Bryant Bank, we recognize your time is valuable, and easy, secure access to your finances is essential. That's why we provide the financial tools you need to manage your money on the go and make life a bit easier. At Bryant Bank, we're here to help with instant debit cards, Apple Pay, person-to-person payments, and more. Bryant bankers want to show you how beneficial our digital banking services can be. Learn more at bryantbank.com. Bryant Bank. Live legendary. Member FDIC.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
If you're the kind of value shopper who waits to the end of the year because you know that's when the deals are the best, it's here. And there's no first payment for 90 days. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford's Make the Holiday Bright sales event. And we've got the best selection of new and certified pre-owned Fords we've had in years. Right now, get financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 23 F-150s. America's best-selling truck for 47 years. 2.9 on F-150. And Woody Anderson Ford has over 100 F-150s to choose from. Great finance rates and no first payment for 90 days on all new Fords. We have financing as low as 1.9% for up to 60 months on 23 Explorer, Escape, and Bronco Sport 2. It's our year-end sales event, the best time of the year to buy, plus no first payment for 90 days. Your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends December 30th. Come by and make your holidays bright at Woody Anderson Ford. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. We are chocked full of entertainment for you today. Again, coming up after this show, Alabama basketball north of the border taking on Purdue. And then you got Huntsville Havoc coming up later this evening, but sandwiched in between there on Zone 2 and over the airways after the completion of Alabama basketball, you're going to get – I mean, we talk about Alabama-Auburn being a great rivalry.
Yeah.
People talk about Michigan and Ohio State, and it's always compared to Alabama and Auburn. Which one is the greatest rivalry? And I think it just depends where you live. If you live in the Midwest, especially in the Michigan area, Ohio State area, you're definitely going to say it's Michigan-Ohio State just because that's what you've grown up around. If you live in Alabama, you're definitely going to say it's the Iron Bowl because that is what you grew up around. But there is no doubt, without a doubt, Army-Navy has a special place for everybody.
I'm gonna fight! I can't fight no more! I can't fight no more! I'm gonna lie down! Bleed a while! I'm gonna get up! Fight some more! I'm gonna fight! I'm gonna fight! Fight!
That's Army head coach Jeff Monken. And that was earlier getting his team all fired up for a game. And it is the Army-Navy game from Gillette Stadium. 97.7 ESPN, the Zone 2 will have it for you. And then again, once Alabama and Purdue all wrap up, post-game wrap up, it'll come over the airwaves.
Yeah, I mean, it's storied, just so much pageantry with the Army-Navy game. And we've been the home of Army football now for many, many years, and there's nothing like that game. It's being played in Baltimore this year.
No, it's in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Bill Belichick is the celebrity guest picker for college game day.
I know it. Well, I know it moves. It's never. It's not played in the same place. Like it's played in Philadelphia. Baltimore is one of the spots.
Yes.
I was thinking that's where it was this year. I want to apologize for that. But as you said, it is going to be at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. And the reason it moves around is because, again, it's a very special game. It's never home at home. They always have it in a bigger venue, a bigger stadium.
You need it.
Because of the pageantry. Travis Ryer, who joins us on a weekly basis, has experienced Army-Navy. He's always said it's a bucket list kind of thing. It's a very special game. And again, being played at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, as you said, game day there today. It gets its own special showcase. Bill Belichick being the guest picker. His father, I believe, was a longtime coach at Navy, and did a great job as an assistant coach there. And I think Bill at one time has also coached at Navy, so there's a lot of connections there for him. But it's just a very special rivalry, and Army's really finished the back half of the season strong.
Yeah.
They're both coming in at 5-6, I believe, in this game today, Scott. And of course, I don't think there's a bowl bid on the line, but certainly bragging rights and again. I will truly say this. You can throw the records out when these teams play. I know Navy under Paul Johnson dominated the rivalry for a while, but it's very, very – they play the same style of football, option style football. It's hard-nosed football. They respect each other, but it's truly the biggest game on each of their schedules, and it's very special, very, very special game.
This will be the final Army-Navy game that Army plays as an independent in college football.
That's right. Yeah.
Because next year they have accepted an invitation to join the AAC, the American Athletic Conference.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Navy eventually ends up in that league as well.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that all
They need to be in the
works
same
out.
conference to me. I mean, they mean so much to each other. They're always gonna play each other. They're always gonna play Air Force. I just think overall, maybe one of these days they'll all three be in the same conference. I know that I guess our Air Force is in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, Navy is also a member of the AAC.
So Navy already is.
Yes.
Okay.
But they have said, and this is what it's going to be, this game will stand as a non-conference game, a standalone non-conference game between Army and Navy.
Interesting.
Next year. It will not be a conference game.
Well, and the thing is, I with all this realignment going on, I wasn't sure if Navy had, accepted a bid and gone to the AAC, but I'm glad they have. I think they should both be in the same conference, no doubt about it.
All right. So, because it was interesting, because they said, well, what happens if Army and Navy both get to the AAC championship game? So
they could play twice.
Yeah. It would create the possibility that they would play in that and then turn around and play in the Army-Navy game.
Look, don't worry about all that. Georgia and Alabama may play 3 friggin' times next year, okay? They're playing in Tuscaloosa. Hopefully Kirby will get his ass beat again, and then there's a chance they'll play in the SEC championship game and then meet in the playoffs. So they could play 3 friggin' times and send Georgia to the crapper 3 times in one season. That'd probably send a lot of Georgia fans into freaking therapy. Since their daddy'd be whipping their ass every time.
Oh, we went there.
Yep, we
went
certainly
there.
did. Hope you heard it, Ethan.
Well, the whole service department heard it.
Yep.
Everybody heard it. That's okay, though. That's okay. 256-576-4977. Let's, shall we get a break in? I believe we will. Because when we come back, high school football, the lights are turned off inside Bryant-Denny Stadium because everybody has played their state championship games. It finished with a classic one in Class 6A last night. If you did not see it, put your headphones on and pretend you are the coach. What would you do? Down 3, final seconds of the ball game. You're within field goal range. Do you kick a field goal and go for the tie? Or do you snap a play and go for the win?
What a gutty decision by Jeff Kelly, man. I mean, they were in definite field goal range to tie it and go into overtime, but he was out of timeouts, and he just decided to go for it, man, and go for the win.
How did it come out? We'll let you know coming back after the break.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania.
He must be the most ambitious man in the world.
And join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge Group. First place will win an overnight stay at Guntersville State Park, plus dinner in the Pinecrest Room, plus golf at Gunter's Landing. Second place wins a foursome at Cherokee Ridge. And third wins food at Bubby's Diner, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, and Coralejos Mexican Grill. Find the link to sign up at our 97.7 ESPN Facebook page and on X at 97.7 ESPN.
You keep saying that, but you don't tell me how.
Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania, and join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge Group. Join today, and good luck.
This kind of stuff makes you grow up quick.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa here to tell you about my new favorite treat, Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Now, I know in the past I've been known for enjoying milk and cookies, but I must tell you, ever since I've tried Bigfoot's Little Donuts, well, let's just say I've been jollier than ever. And my friends at ESPN The Zone are making it easier than ever to leave donuts and milk out for my visit to your house this year. Their Zone deal features $50 worth of Bigfoot's Little Donuts for just $25. Get yours now at 977ESPN.com.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
Our Falcons play here.
If you want to be really blunt going into year 3, it feels like a real team around here in Flagler Branch.
Our Falcons are ready to battle all season long. Catch our next game Sunday. Our Falcons are back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the early game as they welcome in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And catch each and every Falcons game here.
Your NFC South leading Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. Noon Central Time, Week 14 action. Only here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
That's the price you pay. Leave behind your heart.
Oh, there we go. Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Happy Saturday morning with you. We're live from University Kia along University Drive, #1 volume, largest volume, #1 Kia dealership in the state of Alabama for over a decade. They are on the road to excellence. They are trying to get that President's Club. Don't forget they have the invoice sale. Basically, you pay what they pay for a car. Get on out here, buy it.
That's unreal.
Isn't that unreal? I mean,
yeah.
That's a heck of a deal.
Coach, and Arthur Seaton said, just come mention 977 ESPN, and you get it for the wholesale price.
Yeah. What better way?
Brand new Kia. I mean, what better way than to make someone's Christmas unforgettable than to do that, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, shoot. pull up with a new car for me for Christmas, I'd be like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got you. All right. So before the break, we threw out this question. What would you do if you were a head coach? You have a state championship on the line. You're down 3. You're, on the 10-yard line, I think, or 11-yard line. It was right around there. And you have 3 seconds left in the game. You're down 3. Do you kick a goal to tie, or do you run a play and put all your chips on the center of the table and go for broke? And if you get the touchdown, you win. If you don't, you come up short. That was the question we asked. The reason why? Because that happened last night in the 6A state championship game between Saraland and Clay Chalkville.
It certainly did, and someone that was there, that was watching. Pardon me. He's been there. He's been at these kinds of games. He works for Southeastern Athletics in Russellville, Alabama. He's one of the founding fathers of recruiting. For many years, he and Barry Holland had Pigskin Preps magazine, so he's seen talent like this, and it was a talent-laden game last night with undefeated number 1 ranked Saraland, number 2 undefeated Clay Chalkville. Clay Chalkville gave Thompson their only loss of the regular season, Scott, before Thompson fell 21-19 to Central Phoenix City in the 7A state championship game. He's got an eye for this, and he's going to join us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and that's good friend Freddie Kirby, who has set in with me on Talking Ball on many occasions. Freddie, good morning.
Morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, Freddie.
Good.
I know you've been watching high school football and covering teams and prospects in this state for a long time. That game last night in 6A was as star-studded as there's been in a long time.
Well, I'm going to just reference it like this, Drew, and everything. As far as the amount of talent on one field, that is probably the most I've ever seen in a championship ball game.
Wow.
And because you had upwards of 10 players that are D1 caliber easily, and including who I think is the top 2 players in the state of Alabama. And Ryan Williams, to me, is the number 1 player. And they didn't lose last night's game because of him, because he was in the end zone every time you turned around. And Jalen Mbakwe emphasizes team player, moves from defensive back to play quarterback, and leads them to a state championship undefeated over the likes of Saraland and Thompson, who he defeated in the regular season. I think he had 5 or 6 touchdowns in both games. And he had a 73-yard touchdown call back last night because of holding, that he left the secondary 30 yards behind him. And Mario Craver, the wide receiver from Clay Chalkville, was very electric. He had some very big moments with his speed and everything. Guess let me turn my fuzz buster off. And but talent-wise, you could look everywhere you wanted to and find elite talent.
Yeah,
take us through the closing seconds of that ball game, Freddie.
The decision.
We were asking the question, what would you do as a head coach, and everything's on the line. We see this happen a lot in college football, but it doesn't happen usually until overtime or going for a 2-point conversion rather than kick the extra point, not going for the touchdown. Take us through those closing seconds there, and what would you have done if you were the head coach?
Well, I'm kind of a daredevil type myself. I would have done exactly what Jeff Kelly done and everything. And knowing Jeff Kelly all the way back to his high school days at Central Dale, he's always been a quarterback player. Back in his days, he would go for the gusto all the time. He done that at Southern Mississippi as well, and everything. Knowing his mentality, that did not surprise me. And I'm sure a lot of it had to do with the fact early in the game, or especially the third quarter, he tried a field goal from 30-something yards. It was missed very badly to the left and everything, and I'm sure that factored into his decision that, am I better off trying to kick this field goal or relying on KJ Lacey, Ryan Williams, and the other receiver's name is slipping my mind, number 0. He's a very good ball player as well. And I'm sure he was thinking, my offensive attack is just as good as my chances on this field goal. And he just come up 2 yards short against a very good football team. But I would have done the same exact thing he did based on what I've seen on the kick.
And I think that it played a big part. And he did say he was out of timeouts, though, Freddie. If he had a timeout, his thought process would have been a lot different. He said they had a fake field goal that they really liked, but he didn't know if they'd get the look. And if they didn't get the look, they'd be in a tough spot because they would have had to try the kick. And, of course, Drew Gilmer, who we've had on the show as well from Clay Chalkville, said that they had their field goal block unit ready to roll, and then they changed personnel. But it was just a battle of titans, no doubt about it, and just some very special student athletes competing on the field, and a lot of great sportsmanship afterward. And we'd already mentioned, Freddie, earlier in the show, Death Taxes and the Fife Red Devils and Paul Benefield, 7 championships now since 2014. I know you know Coach Benefield very well. You know that Fife community very well. Logan Anderson, there's been a lot of great players come through Fife. He may end up being the best of them all.
I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of Anderson brothers come through there. They might need to change the name to Anderson. And Paul Benefield, what can you say? One of the greatest and most elite coaches that's ever stepped on the sideline. And to top it off, how humble he is as a human being. And, he's whatever coach aspires to be. He gets the most out of his players. He wins a lot of ball games with lesser talent. And pretty much, 8 out of 10 years he's been there now, won 7, is that right?
Right, correct.
And so it could be the Benefield Invitational is what they could start calling it. And because, like you said, Death Taxes and Fife, you pretty much bank on them being there as long as he's football coach. And I'm going to give credit overall, but I thought this was one of the best 7A matchups all the way through 1 through 7 that I've seen in the whole years I've been watching it, because all the games, even though some of the scores may not have said it, all those games were competitive. And even the Montgomery Catholic 35-0 win over Cherokee County was a more competitive game than it looked like. It was only 7-0 at halftime. And
that's right.
They wore down Cherokee County, and without that quarterback not being able to throw the football, it hurt Cherokee County this game. Where they escaped by West Morgan on a missed extra point, then they got Westminster the following week. But the quarterback situation caught up with them against Catholic. And but I'm going to give, I think his name is Cornejo.
Jacob Cornejo.
I'm going to give, that is one of the most fearless, most heart kids I've ever seen on a football field. And that kid needs to be playing major college somewhere. And he's got the heart of a lion.
And we talked to the managing general partner of University Kia, Arthur Seaton, his son, of course, an offensive lineman on that Madison Academy team, Freddie. And I know you have one of your guys, one of your kids, Jackson Reese, had a tremendous season for Madison Academy. That's a very special senior class for MA, and they had a tremendous season in their own right. And they lost to a very, very talented team from Mobile Christian under Ronnie Cottrell.
Yes, Madison Academy's got nothing to hang their heads about, because you get beat the state championship game, there's several teams that would have loved to have been there. And, they run up against a team that was equal in talent as them and everything. But the biggest difference in that game was the breaks. And it's hard to spot a team, those many turnovers, and win the ball game. But there wasn't an ounce of difference in the two ball teams. Jackson Reese made a phenomenal catch down the right sideline, getting his body lean in and get that foot in bounds and everything, but he's always stepped up in crucial moments like that this entire year. He had the one little injury, or he might be amongst the elite receivers in yardage-wise in the state, and I think he did set a few of the Madison Academy records. What can you say about Cherry that ain't already been said? How that kid has not got a D1 offer in his hand is unreal. That kid, I'm not maybe the top running back at North Alabama. And he put him on his back several times and took him through and everything. Coach Bob Godsey's done a phenomenal job there. And Rodney Cottrell, don't make no mistake. There's a reason you win Coach Recruiter of the Year 8 years in a row at Florida State. It ain't like you don't know talent. And he lost probably the top defensive player in the state. Is number 10 and moves in there, Bucard, that's a junior that looks phenomenal, looks identical. So he didn't miss a step there. And Ronnie Cottrell knows talent. He's a great human being. He knows how to coach. And he's been there a few times, and I think he finally pulled through and won the big one.
Yeah, he really did, and it's his first state championship in Alabama. At Mobile Christian's been there 9 years, his third state championship game. He also won in 2012 at Godby High School in Tallahassee. So Coach has done a great job moving on to the high school level after being the recruiting coordinator at both Florida State and the University of Alabama, no doubt about it. But as we circle back in the last couple of minutes with you, Freddie, Ryan Williams, there's a lot of talk in the next day or so, maybe this weekend, he's going to reclassify to the 2024 class. You called him the best player in the state of Alabama. Can he make an impact leaving school early and potentially going to the University of Alabama?
Well, elite talent. That skill set is not matched by very many human beings. And this kid is a professional skill set wise, and he'll never stay at Alabama beyond 3 years. So he's going to make an immediate impact because he does things already that some college kids can't already do. And he sets up his defender. He makes incredible cuts in very tight spaces. He's got elite speed. He can walk away from you. And if you take one false step, you're beat. And he's got incredible hands. And, yeah, he's going to reclassify him here in as early as tomorrow. And he will immediately jump to the number one player in the state of Alabama when that happens. And I think Ibakwe should be second right behind him. And but he will walk in. I think he could have easily a Julio Jones, Amari Cooper effect at Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, he had 2 touchdown catches last night, a touchdown run, Scott, and then a 65-yard kickoff return. He scored all 4 touchdowns for Saraland, just an electric player. And real quick, Freddie, before we let you go, I know you mentioned Mbakwe. He played quarterback this year, but he's been known as an all-purpose guy, a DB, a wide receiver. Where do you see Mbakwe playing on the college level?
I see him replacing Kool-Aid at right corner and everything. He's got the skill set that looks identical to Kool-Aid and everything. Yeah, he's showcased on offense with that speed and everything. But you can see just in his moves and the way he uses his hands, he just eluding defenders and everything. You can see how he could be a top-notch cover guy. And he's got the speed to match it, and he's got the grit that it's going to take to play corner. But he can win the battle and everything. So I think he'll play easily as a freshman and everything. And if you're top 2 player in the state of Alabama, you should.
Well, Freddie, we appreciate the time. I know you're busy this morning. We've had a great show here at University Kia. Before you go, let everybody know about what you and Glenn Jackson do at Southeastern Athletics.
Well, we're an exposure organization that helps kids get their exposure locally and nationally. We get you out in the hands of all these college coaches where you don't become overlooked. They become aware of who you are, where you are. We put your videos in the hands of the colleges of your choice that you're qualified to play for. And we do all the legwork to try to get you seen and everything. And we have a one-time fee that is based off whatever package you have interest in. We're not an every year, you don't pay us every year situation. And we got a 87% ratio company-wide of get kids exposure, signing scholarships. And personally, I'm sitting at 97% at the moment and everything. But we've been here for 38 years. We've never been sued. We're the only recruiting service can tell you that. And we're the only one in America with an A-plus rating. So we're just not going to lie to you to get your business. We're going to tell you what we can and can't do. And my phone number is 256-227-6986 if you'd like to contact me.
Well, Freddie, we appreciate it. Thank you for the insight into that great 6A state championship game and some thoughts on the Super 7. I'll see you soon, man. Thank you. Have a great rest of your morning.
Thank you.
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back here, tomorrow's headlines today will wrap us all up from University Kia.
Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania.
He must be the most ambitious man in the world.
And join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge Group. First place will win an overnight stay at Guntersville State Park, plus dinner in the Pinecrest Room, plus golf at Gunter's Landing. Second place wins a foursome at Cherokee Ridge. And third wins food at Bubby's Diner, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, and Coralejos Mexican Grill. Find the link to sign up at our 97.7 ESPN Facebook page and on X at 97.7 ESPN.
You keep saying that, but you don't tell me how.
Sign up now for the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bowl Challenge. Just go to ESPN.com, click on Capital One Bowl Mania, and join the 97.7 ESPN Bowl Challenge group. Join today, and good luck.
This kind of stuff makes you grow up quick.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Coach Nick Saban.
Helping children is very important to Miss Terry and me. As parents, it saddens us to know that there are more than 5,000 children in foster care in Alabama. These children need loving, nurturing families to care for them. We ask you to join the team and become champions for children by opening your heart, opening your home, and becoming a foster or adoptive parent.
For more information, call 1-866-4AL-KIDS. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, welcome back. The college football award season is ongoing right now.
Yep, Heisman tonight.
Heisman goes out tonight. Now, no surprise here. No surprise. Tory Taylor, my Iowa punter, wins the Ray Guy Award. I mean, when you punt for nearly 4,000 yards in a season.
You out-punt the offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're going to win. I'm not joking when I say he nearly punted for 4,000 yards.
Right.
He pretty much he's 19 yards shy of breaking the record for single-season punting yardage that has stood since 1938.
And he'll set it in the bowl game.
And he will most definitely set that in the bowl game. So he wins the Ray Guy Award, which is a good award. Now, here's the thing. They have one for the kickers as well. And
Lou Groza.
That is the Lou Groza Award. So if Tory Taylor is so close to breaking the record from 1938, and he's got all these punts, you would think a record-setting kicker would win the kicking award. You would think, right? It would make natural sense. Will Reichert, the all-time points leader in NCAA history, magical season, does not win the award. It goes to Miami University junior Graham Nicholson. He was, you ready for this? 26 of 27 on field goal attempts and made 35 of 36 extra points.
Well, I mean, hey, that's a great season for him. Tim Brando was probably on the committee.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. beat Malik Neighbors to win the Biletnikoff Award by 1 vote.
Well, I would have voted for Neighbors. I think Harrison's a great player. He didn't have the numbers Malik had, but that's all right. Jaden Daniels going to win the Heisman, and he's going to win it tonight. And the SEC will win another award. But Brando won't say anything about that because it's from the it's from the LSU, which he's from Louisiana, so he won't have too much to say bad about LSU. Now, if it was at Alabama quarterback winning it, he'd be raising hell, but that's just the kind of person he is because he's a scumbag.
Alabama fatigue, I guess.
Yeah, big time. Because he has PTSD from when he was a kid, and LSU used to get their head caved in by Alabama all the time.
Oh, there you go. We're live from University Kia along University Drive. We got just a few more minutes left. Coming up after us, the gang from the Alabama Sports Network, the Crimson Tide Sports Network, they're going to take over the show at the bottom of the hour because Alabama's going to take on Purdue. You'll be able to hear that game a 12:30 tip as Alabama will take on number 4 Purdue in Toronto, Canada.
And from Nick Kelly of the Tuscaloosa News, who's joined the show, he's got some breaking news. It's good for Alabama.
Yeah, it came out before our show started.
Yeah, right. Grant Nelson, who missed the most of the second half against Arkansas State due to a lower leg injury. He's been rehabbing since that period of time. He had not practiced much this week, but barring any problems during warm-ups, he is going to play today for Alabama against Purdue, and they're going to need him. We said it earlier in the show. Nick Pringle will be back from suspension. You're going to need Nick Pringle. You're going to need Muhammad Wagee, and you're going to need Grant Nelson. He and Aaron Estrada, Mark Sears, that's kind of the lethal weapon 3 for Alabama. They're all going to have to play and play well for the Tide to have a chance on this neutral floor in Toronto in Zach Edey's backyard to beat a great team like Purdue.
All right, so that's college basketball. That is coming your way right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone in about less than 5 minutes. We're going to turn it over to the Crimson Tide Sports Network for Alabama-Purdue pregame. And then don't forget, coming up just a little bit later, you're going to be able to stream on 97.7 ESPN The Zone 2. We'll have the Army-Navy game. And then coming up later tonight, we got Huntsville-Habak hockey. That'll come your way later this evening. And then tomorrow, we will have UAH basketball as they take on Shorter in the Steak Bowl over there in Rome, Georgia.
Steve have a contest to see who can eat the 20 ounces you cut in half after you're trying to split a 40-ounce porterhouse. You should have a contest to see who finishes it the fastest.
Well, I already know who will win that. That's not even fair.
He'll drive faster, but you'll win the contest.
I am driving because I will be taking the University Kia Telluride with me. But the question is, should we split a 40-ounce porterhouse or should I go with an 18-ounce ribeye?
I think you should split a 40-ounce porterhouse.
That game will be at 3 o'clock tomorrow. That game will be at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So we're eating at noon.
Right.
If I go with 20 ounces of a porterhouse, will I be able to do a game at 3 o'clock?
Yeah, I think you will. You might have to find the facilities at halftime, though.
Oh, boy, that's how we're going to finish the show because I know the music's going to start here in a couple minutes. Bailey, what do you think? Should I split? Should we split the 40 ounce?
I think they should split.
Or should I go with the ribeye?
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with any of those picks. I mean, I'm thinking the 40-ounce ribeye though.
No, if it's a 40-ounce porterhouse
instead of the 18-ounce ribeye.
There, you gotta go big or go home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brandon's picking up the tab. I'm going to just go ahead and say that.
Well, should I go? So then, but they have one of the old-fashioned salad bars, though, too. The big, long salad bars.
Have you one
That's
salad?
going to be one of my sides.
Salad?
That's going to be one. Bailey, actually.
That's a good one, man. That's perfect. You're talking about a steakhouse, and you're talking about salad. Come on.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Big thanks to Arthur Sheehan, Mike, and everybody today. And
what a good show. What a fun show.
I mean, what a fun show. What a Merry Christmas to everybody. And we really appreciate Kia being a sponsor and having us today.
Well, they've had us all week. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've had the Telluride, and we had it on Wednesday. Got to take it and show it off at the Middle Tennessee game. We got to show it off in Tuscaloosa. We got to show it off, and we'll show it off to our fine friends over at UAH in Rome, Georgia, as UAH will take on Shorter tomorrow. So we could not be happier, and we cannot thank them enough for everything that they have done here for us at University Kia. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. We'll be back at it Monday morning. We have got, 48 hours before we hit the ground running again on another week. We will recap the Heisman Trophy, recap a little college football, and start looking ahead to some more college basketball and the playoffs next week I mean, it's also the holiday season, Huntsville City Classic. Don't forget to circle December 20th on your calendars. The 97.7 ESPN The Zone Holiday Christmas Party benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama. You bring a toy to Flo on December 20th. You can have the run of the park. So we'll talk more about that next week as well because we got a lot to unpack.
Alabama-Purdue basketball pregame up next.
All right, guys. See you Monday.
Mark, that was your 1-minute time check, stations.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy